Okay, let's talk a little bit about the cost of Medicare. We've already said Part A is no additional charge. Part B, however, standard monthly charge, everybody pays at least $170.10. All these amounts we're going to go over now are going to be per month per person. So if you're married, both you and your spouse would be responsible for these costs. So Part B, $170.10 a month. If you're drawing Social Security, that amount comes automatically out of your Social Security check. If you're not drawing Social Security, most people are going to start by getting a bill once a quarter in the mail, right? So either comes out of your Social Security check or a quarterly paper bill. If you do not like quarterly paper billing, really the only other option for you is to go online, register at medicare.gov, and then set up an auto draft each month from, say, your bank account, right? Okay, I said everybody pays at least $170.10. It's possible you could be on the hook for what they call high income adjustments. So if you're an individual and you make more than $91,000, or you're filing jointly with your spouse and make more than $182,000, you start being charged additional overages. Okay. You can see all the way over on the right, you can see the amount that you would pay based on your income. So let's just say I'm dealing with an individual that makes $100,000 a year, or I've got a couple that makes $200,000. Well, their Part B is going to be $238.10. So you got an additional, $58 a month there in charges. $68 a month. Sorry, did bad math. Okay. So instead of being $170.10, you're going to pay $238.10. Again, that is per month per person. You can see the grid there. If you're in the highest grid, Part B alone is $578.30. It's one of those good problems to have, but it is, and it can get expensive based on where your income is. All right, we haven't talked about the drug card yet. We'll go over that in a minute. The drug card is something you pick up from a private health insurance carrier. It's not something that the government provides. Government doesn't do any medication coverage per se. So you'll get a drug card from a private health insurance carrier, but you'll notice that when you get one, if you're in these high income brackets, the government is then going to charge you an additional amount. So whatever the plan costs, you'll pay to the insurance company, then the government's going to tack on these additional overages here. Let's use our example of an individual making $100,000 or filing joint making $200,000. You'll pay your premium to your drug card, and then you would get hit by the government for an additional $12.40. Now, just a word on how they calculate these. The government uses something called your modified adjusted gross income. So MAGI, modified adjusted gross. And they use your tax return from 2 years ago. So somebody signing up for 2022 for their Medicare in 2022 is the government's going to charge high income adjustments based on the amount they look at from the 2020 return. The government does review that every single year, but they're always looking 2 years in arrears. What we tell people is there is an appeal process. Most of the people we help are going to be moving to Medicare because they're retiring from an employer. Well, if you can prove to the government that your income isn't going to be within these high income grids, or it's going to be in a lower grid than what they're showing 2 years ago, there's an appeal process. You want to fill out a high income redetermination form, send that into Social Security and see if you can't get that removed. We do have people be fairly successful removing these high income adjustments as long as you've got a valid reason, something like retirement. Right? Point here is don't let it take 2 years for the government to catch up to your income change. All right, that was our section on original Medicare. A couple of notes here. You're not restricted to a specific network of doctors with A and B, right? Any doctor anywhere in the country that takes Medicare. Remember that unlimited risk exposure, specifically in Part B. I mentioned Medicare, remember, does not cover any prescription drugs. So A and B themselves don't cover any meds. And currently, as it stands, Medicare itself does not cover any dental, vision, hearing aids, and it's definitively not long-term care.